There we go. You can kind of see it snowing on. Yeah, there it goes on the camera. I'm drinking some hot chocolate. The camera is currently being supported by my coffee. Hello, guys. Junior iPhone here. Welcome to the first of the year snow. Today is January 11th, 2021. Woo! We survived 2020. And I'm happy to report I do not have the Rona. No Kung Flu for me. And I really don't give a damn if that's offensive. It's fucking funny. You need to learn to laugh. But yep. It's actually coming down pretty hard compared to how normally it comes down. The clover here thought it was safe to grow again. Didn't they know Biden got elected? Hide your sprouts, they'll get molested. For those of you who don't know, Joe Biden is a known pedophile, so, yeah. But enough of politics. It's pretty nice out here. Gonna be working on... yummy. Gonna be working on some goals. This year is going to be my year of care. I'm actually going to pay attention to my health, which I've been ignoring forever. Well, for the most part, I've been ignoring it. Especially my mental health. Yeah, it's in your head, it's in your head. Well, yeah, of course it's in your head. That's where your brain is, motherfucker. And, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't need to cuss every other word. It's just whenever things need emphasis. Not everything needs emphasis. Hold on. I'm gonna move this real quick so you guys can see something interesting. Whoosh! I have purple hair. And the reason I have purple hair is because I did a charity stream at the end of 2020. And we hit one of the stretch goals to where I dyed half my head purple. Hence, purple hair. Honestly, when I was first getting it, my first thought was, I'm going to end up hating it after a while, and got it dyed December 22nd, 2020, and I'm still loving it. So, surprise, surprise. He's so pretty and purple. I hope you guys can actually see just how beautiful this color is. Oh my gosh. But I have so many different screen resolutions. Who knows? Alright, I'm going to put you back next to my coffee. Hopefully you get set. There you go. Not the greatest view in the world, but hey, better than no view at all, you know? Hopefully you can still see the... Holy cow, picked up again. Snow falling. Made a little snowman. I'll post the picture to Discord. I do have a Discord server. I usually don't promote it on YouTube because I get no interaction on YouTube, but hey, this is where this video is going anyway. It's also going on BitChute, because BitChute is safer, in all honesty, compared to YouTube. Constitutionally speaking. And I know I already said enough of the politics, but hey. It's something that needs to be brought up. Speaking of brought up, I know people keep calling that site a site for Nazis, and it's not. It's not. No, the Nazis are the left. Democrats. They call for segregation, they call for the abortion of minorities, because that is who abortion affects the most. Kill off your population so you can, stay tiny and oppressed. And that way we can continue to use you and your fears during every election. Oh yeah, and then Cuomo and de Blasio were abusing the Jews up in New York. They were chaining them into their houses, chaining up their communities. and people called Trump a Nazi, and Trump's family is Jewish. So, yeah, that don't make sense. Yeah, a lot of things didn't make sense in 2020. We got COVID back in February, I believe, is when it hit the States. People called Trump a xenophobe for shutting down travel to the place where the outbreak started. And now they're all gung-ho about shutdowns because it lets them have more control over people. Which is very obvious because a lot of the places where Republicans run, they didn't shut down and they're fine. Like South Dakota is a good example. They didn't shut down. They had a Republican governor. They didn't shut down, and the citizens of South Dakota are singing the governor's praises. Because I think they have the lowest number of cases, if any at all, nowadays in the United States. COVID is prolific in cities, which is no surprise. All plagues tend to do really well in cities. So if you have high population densities, you're going to get hit with Rona harder. And in the U.S., we test more people with tests that actually work. 70% of the time. Not all the time, but a good chunk of it. Yeah, better than not at all. Better than what happened in South Africa. They tested a goat and papaya. Both came back positive for Rona. It's like, how the frick did a papaya who, was finished growing by the time Corona came around get Corona? But anyway, I'm just going to kind of use this as a rambling session, so be prepared for everything. But yeah, today's going to be the year of care. Or not today, this year is going to be the year of care. But I do have a lot of creative goals set. I'm not going to be able to finish Yusuke this year. I'm almost certain of that at this point. Which really sucks because I've been working on this book forever. The plan is January through October, I'm going to be working on Yusuke. November, I'm going to draft a new book, which is what I did this last November. I drafted another book I've drafted a book in the second series. And I've also taken the time and plotted out every single book between the first one for Yusuke and the fifth one for Harley. Harley, the character. To make that clear. Which is at least 7 for Yusuke and 5 for Harley. That's also not counting all of the spin-offs that I've got queued up, like the 9 Levels of Christmas, which feature Gardu, and kind of moral stories for that. The Silence Mon series, which is essentially about purgatory in this particular dimension, in the verse. I'm keeping that, by the way, because that's funny. I like a good pun. I like a good play on words. Although Broforce, I was introduced to that game, that one pushes it. Too many bad puns. Brominator. It's like, you might want to check your words there, buddies. And Braid. That one was funny, but bad. But I'm gonna keep verse. Also working on the Twitch channel. Ripley. May do a cartoon with that. Gotta get faster at animating, though. Ripley's design is as simple as it can be right now. So, at least simple and as relatively accurate as it can currently be in terms of paleological records. Which, by the way, in 2020, we redefined what Spinosaurus looked like, and it got more terrifying. But it looks like it makes more sense with how it moves, and we've figured out that Spinosaurus is more likely a more crocodilian in terms of dinosaurs, so maybe it lizards evolved into dinosaurs, and then just kind of, some of them reverted back to crocodilians, i.e. Spinosaurus. That's just a theory, though, not a game theory. Which, game theory opened up, I think, one channel, because film theory was back in 2019. But they opened up food theory, which has actually been useful for world building for me. One of their recent episodes was about eating your Christmas tree. They specifically used a blue spruce. Because it's actually something that the Native Americans used to do, back in the winters. They'd eat spruce tips. Because spruces are evergreens. They're green all year round. A good example of that is this lovely evergreen here, who is taking all of this snow like a champ, and also creating a green patch. You can see all of this lovely snow, and then nothing. It's protecting all of the grass and clover over there. Beautiful. Oh, and that's a snowman. Up close pic on Discord, which, in order to get to the Discord, you have to be a part of the Twitch channel. Meaning you gotta be a part of the Raptor Pack. Because followers are raptors, which is where Ripley comes in. And then subscribers are part of the Hydra Heads, which, for those of you who have been keeping track, is one of my book's creatures. I love the Hydra Heads. They're so cool. And thanks to a recent scientific discovery, or at least one that was reported on January 8th of this year, 2021, I may have one of the bacteria that lives in the Podnudus, which is one of the Hydra Heads, but they eat metal. And the Geobacter is what it's called, also known as the Iron Man bacteria. It would likely be one of the bacteria, or at least something similar to it, would be one of the bacteria in a Podnudi, which allows them to eat metal. Interesting thing about the Geobacter is they can actually, quote-unquote, consume cobalt, which, for those of you who are scientifically minded, you already know how significant that is. For those of you who are not, like some of my friends I was talking with yesterday, or at the very least, they didn't know the significance of cobalt, a bacteria being able to break down cobalt, we'll put it that way. Cobalt is highly toxic to the environment, especially humans and bacteria. So the fact that this Geobacter can essentially break down cobalt, and they kind of coat themselves in it, is very significant, because that means if we can apply this on a grander scale, we can recycle lithium batteries. Or at least we can recycle the cobalt in lithium batteries, which is very significant. In addition, cobalt is used in spaceships and electric cars, so that's a huge step forward. Yeah, if you guys don't like politics, try to get into physics, astronomy, get into science, because it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And by the way, before any of you guys ask in the comments, the charity that I was raising money for is called Stack Up. It supports the mental health of veterans. They support both active duty and veterans, I should be more clear, through the power of geek culture and video games, which, after I was introduced to it, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm totally going to raise for this foundation, for this charity. And I think I'm going to stay in contact with them, because they're a really good charity. They really make it easy at least on me, and from everyone else I've seen working with them. They make it easier to raise money for them, because they actually provide a link where you can donate directly to the to the charity. That way there's no hubbub about, oh, did all the money go to charity? It's like, yeah, every single penny that was donated to the charity went to the charity. None of it passed through my hands. And it's so nice and easy. They even made their own overlay, like, so you could keep track of how much was donated. I cried several times during that stream. And funny thing, so December 4th, I had to have surgery. And thankfully it was an outpatient surgery because the cyst was, like, right next to the skin. Which makes me worried about how many other cysts I have. But anyway. But I had a cyst that decided to bust and get infected around Thanksgiving. We talked with my doctor. I took some antibiotics. It didn't get better, so we did surgery all in the same week. So, like, November 30th. Funny, it was snowing that day, too. Saw the doctor. By Wednesday, it's like, hey, doc, this ain't getting better. That Friday, it's like, okay, bing, bang, boom, here's your surgery. Like, well, fuck. So, and my charity stream I had planned since the end of October, beginning of November. And it was going to be December 12th. It would be a 12-hour charity stream with the potential of going 24 hours. Managed to get through 12 hours before I'm like, okay, guys, my gut can't handle this anymore. By then, I'd gotten clearance from the doc to still take it kind of easy, but I didn't really have any restrictions. So, yeah, I had a chunk of flesh taken out in December. And was able to turn around a little more than a week later and do a charity stream. A successful charity stream. Again, that's the reason why half my head is now purple. Hey, birdie. Probably wondering what the heck I'm doing here. Well, tweet to you, too. Poor dear, he's all fluffed up. There's so many birds around here. They're all probably shocked that the snow's here. I would be, too. But I did fill up the bird feeder, so may go over and clear off some of the ice so they can eat the seed better, but other than that, at the very least they have food. And with the snow, they technically have water. Because everything on the ground is technically not frozen. Like, you can hear in the background that the water that's melting on the top of the house, because we keep the house at a 70 degrees, which is going to be amazing if it can hit that today. Then again, since I've been out in the snow for so long, I'll probably appreciate it more. But all of the melted snow is going in the gutter and going down the drain pipe here, which happens to be right next to where I'm sitting. Well, maybe about a yard and a half away, but still, very close. No! My hot chocolate. Which, by the way, speaking of, I'm back on keto. Or at least trying to be on keto. Started back last Sunday. Not yesterday, but last Sunday. And, I lost 5 pounds. Cheated one day, and I'm back up to 262. So I've lost 3 pounds. But I'm going to be kicking myself in the rear and getting myself in gear. So all of my carbs today have come from this delicious keto hot chocolate, which is taking Binging with Babbitt's recipe for hot chocolate and essentially replacing as much as I can with keto-friendly options. Like, the cocoa nibs were actually pretty keto-friendly. They were pretty low in carbs, surprisingly. And then, crap, I'm getting stuffy because I'm getting cold. Anywho. Oh yeah, so keto is actually doing a lot better than I was expecting, which is good. And I'm trying to get under 30 carbs, whereas last year I was just trying to stay under 50. Cannot do the 50 and lose weight, it turns out. So I'm going to aim for 30, trying to stay under 30. which is going to be a massive change considering the fact that I think since like October, I was off keto. It looks like the snow's slowed down a bit. Though I say that and it's going to pick back up. Just you watch. I would like a ton of snow. That would be cool. I'd hate it. Eventually, because it's friggin' cold. But it'd be nice to look at. And it'd give me an excuse to light up the fireplace. Which our fireplace is not gas, it's actual wood. We have a giant stack of wood in the garage. And I just, it's been in there for a couple of years now. I just haven't had to burn it. I may, if we get more snow and the house starts struggling, I may start burning it. In addition, we've got wasps in the fireplace, so that'd be one way to get rid of them. But I do kind of feel sorry for the wasps. I wish they would build in a better place. Like, if I could convince them to build not under the grill, maybe anywhere that doesn't bug, but just anywhere where I'm not going to be for a very long period of time, and there's going to be a lot of noise and all that. So, like the tree house, I'm never over there. And there's plenty of space underneath that they could build under there. But I have been looking into, speaking of wasps, I have been looking into ways to become friends with the wasps, because wasps are really good for getting rid of shit in the garden. And the garden was successful for the most part last year. I planted it a little late. The squash and zucchini suffered and died, but the tomatoes, peppers, lavender, the rosemary is still going strong. Like, right now, it's the only thing alive in the garden. Everything else has died off. The okra, oh gosh, okra was really good. The tomatoes we made were really good when we remembered to eat them. We had habanero peppers. Holy shit, talking mushrooms. Oh yeah, I learned the hard way that you shouldn't eat a habanero when it's green, because that is when it is spiciest. And needless to say, I plucked a green habanero thinking, oh, okay, I'm ready for this spice level. And I was not. I was not. But anywho, I'm wearing my husband's gloves and they're nice and warm. And anyway, yeah, I'm just rambling today. Eating everything and anything. But the garden was good this year. Okra, tomatoes. We did get a couple of squash, but ultimately the plants died. Same with the zucchini. Lavender, rosemary. Had a few flowers. Had one purple Gerber daisies. Bird, you can go and eat. I'm not going to bug you. I'm just going to be here rambling, I promise. I don't know if you can see the Twitter. Maybe you can. Yep, there he is. He's showing up on camera. He's moving a lot. Oh, just new position. Oh, he's camera shy. And precious. But anywho, I have to clean that tree off. That's a lot of leaves that should have fallen. I'll probably have to prune it. I'm not going to be able to reach everything I gotta prune, but I'm going to have to prune it. Do you guys want me to clean off the bird feeder? Is that the reason? Oh, that reminds me. There's an American robin that showed up around the time the lockdown started here in Alabama. And it was March 17th. And she, every single day, she came out and hit the window. And it wasn't a, like, kamikaze dive slam into the window. It was a, she jumped on one of the flower pots I have next to the window, so I'd remember to come out and water it. In addition, whenever it rained and the gutters would overflow, that would water it for me. Well, tweet to you, too. Can you? Yeah, you guys can see the little bugger. Well, could have seen. But, every single day, roughly around the same time, too, but every single day, she'd jump on the flower pot, and it was a female because of the dull colors. And she would jump up and tap the window. Sometimes you'd hear, pop! I'm like, what? Every single day. And she wouldn't stop until I came outside and started drawing. If I just came outside, that wasn't enough. I had to be doing something. So I would draw. And I ended up sketching out, thumbnailing, really, a 5-volume comic, complete with dialogue, that is related to my sci-fi series, specifically the second series. And it's The Deal. Basically what happened when Harley went to Siren's brothel to make a deal with the madams there in order to have Dr. Frank have safe... Well, for him to be safe on the planet of Genetic. I have the word for what... Holy crackle, the snow picked up again. See? What'd I tell y'all? Oh, well, you can actually really see it. Let's see if I can... I haven't drank from my coffee at all yet. Poor old coffee. Probably feeling left out. Holy crap. Whoa. Yeah, you guys can see how hard it is. It's coming down now. Oh, whoa, hi. That's close. Must not be much wind. There's a couple of warm spots on the ground I just noticed. Most of it's pretty close to the house, but there's also some shade. Oh, my feetsies are getting cold. But it is a 5-volume comic, so 5-issue comic, I should say. If I'm going to use the correct terminology. But it's 5 issues, and it's not safe for work. Because, you know, Siren's brothel shit goes down. No, that is not one of the kinks. I hate scat. I hate diapers. Blech. Makes me sick every time I see it. And to some degree, I kind of wish it wouldn't, but it does. And the only reason I wish it wouldn't make me sick is because so that way I could more easily search. Because holy cow, I know very little about what things would look like at Siren's brothel, so I decided to do some research. You don't look up a brothel without finding a bunch of porn. But it is rather interesting. Rather interesting to see how far the human body can bend. And at the same time, it's like, okay, well, not all of these critters are humans. Some of them are... Actually, the majority of them are what you might consider a monster. They're sirens. And there are different kinds of sirens based on, like, species. So there's avian, reptoid, mammalian, insectoid, so on and so forth. And I've drawn a couple. At least I've got some ideas, concept ideas. But, yeah, I haven't done much with it since. I'm going to try and get that, at least the first issue of that comic, at the very least, sketched out. Because I've got thumbnails, I've got, like, very rough, hey, this is where this character's going to be, this is what they're going to say. And I've paneled it out, too. And I'm going to go in and do everything else digitally. So like doing another sketch to make things a bit more clear, then do line art. I plan on coloring it, so flat color, then shading. I gotta figure out how to I want to shade all this stuff. Holy crack! Can you see all this? Holy cow. I wish this camera could catch everything my eyes could. Jeez. Man, it looks like a screensaver. Oh man, this is beautiful. No, you are not allowed in my coffee. You're not allowed in my hot chocolate either. No snow. But I'm sitting underneath my normal little covered porch. Well, kind of covered. It's more like an alcove, a niche in the side of the house. That I can come out. I can sit out here during the storms when I want to. If I'm not doing something else, which, yeah. I'm working on chapter 14 right now and getting new story. Basically rewriting the entire book again. And this time, instead of doing a story within a story, I'm just doing straight story, starting from when she's in the experimental prison and when she breaks out to the end of the book. So instead of characters watching videos of what happened in the past, it's just kind of the camera starting with one person, and then whenever that one person kind of becomes inactive, it goes to whoever interacted with them last and just follows them. Basically, if I think it's kind of like slice of life that the person's going through, like the character that's being focused on, it shifts to someone who's about to either do something really dangerous, really stupid, really cool, in my opinion, allows for me to establish a character, stuff like that. I'm breaking it down in literary devices. To think my major is both of my degrees are in chemistry. Yes, I have. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I graduated from college with a second degree, cum laude this time. So, I actually kicked ass this time at college. So this will be my second degree. It's a Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry with a minor in secondary education, meaning I can teach in junior high and high school, but I cannot teach elementary school. So, like, 7th grade and up. If that. I think all of the 6th grade around here are in elementary school. Although, it almost doesn't matter because I can't use the degree now. Yeah, sure, they're begging for teachers, but yeah, I have asthma, so I'm susceptible to corona for one. 2, apparently I was, some weird stuff happened with the school, and right as I was going to get a $6,000 gig, so as a substitute teacher, right after it was offered to me, I got the rug ripped out from under me, and they told me, hey, you were removed from the sub list. And I'm like, excuse me? When did this happen? And he's like, well, all I can say is I'm sorry. And went through it a couple other times, and I'm like, yeah, I got blacklisted. So, if you're a Republican, look out. The blacklists are real. And no one can convince me otherwise, because I'm experiencing it. What's funny about the school system I was applying to is they've had teachers that have